Hello, David Paul here. I thought I'd just make a nice evening video since I've got nothing to do because I'm making a cup of tea and it's like, um, that's a massive enterprise. I tell you, that is a massive enterprise on a fire, especially when you're trying to keep the fire sort of microscopic. You have to be very, as I said before, you got to be very, very careful here. So I've had some supper cooked on the fire. It was nice. I had pasta and some kind of stuff I got out of a can. That was a bit horrible. Sorry, Portugal, but that was horrible. It was some kind of pork fat and a couple of bits of stuff and mostly chickpeas. Maybe it was supposed to go with something, I don't know. But it wasn't delicious anyway. But it was food. So here I am, it's the evening, and I've got my little fire going there. Let me get the fire in. I think you'll be able to see that. And what I've done is, I think it's rather clever. It's entirely encased in stone, so you got to set fire to the stone of my house or the stone of the floor. I put it on a paving slab so it didn't burn the limestone floor. And the staircase or the inside, the dirt inside. So it's almost impossible to for it to catch fire with anything. But in lighting it, you have to use rather fluffy stuff. I use some eucalyptus strips, and boy, they go up like crazy. Great fire lighters, but very hard to keep control of. They're designed to set fire to the forest. So anyway, I got it away on that. I've had my first cup of tea out of that. I'll have my second one soon when that's cooked. And I've had my supper, and there's the sunset through the trees. It is just gorgeous here. You know, you get all this 19,000 €19,000, something like £17,000 in UK money. I got all of this, plus on an owner purchase deal, so I pay him an owner finance deal. I pay him every month, so it's kind of like a personal, person-to-person, no interest mortgage, which is just what I needed because I just didn't have any money. I could raise a deposit, and that was all. So anyway, you can see there's my tent, which is a wreck of what it was last year. All my tools were stolen. The tent was not, but it's not in a good state. But primarily, I just sleep in that tent to keep the mosquitoes and flies off me, because really, you don't even need any cover here. It's really warm at night. In fact, it's too warm at the first start of the night. By the morning, it's cooled off lovely. In fact, if you don't wrap yourself up, you wake up freezing in the middle of the night. So anyway, I watched the video that I made earlier in the day, and I uploaded, and I was trying to show you the pears at the back of the house, and you might be able to see them better. There's a tree over there, and that's my tree, and it's full of pears, absolutely full of pears. There are that land up the back there belongs to me, and there's some sort of stone structure, and it would appear to be a stone structure. I think that used to be a toilet of some sort. I'm going to investigate that because maybe I can reconstruct it. There's an apple tree just down the bottom there, just there. So those people who are nice to me, I'm going to tell them to come over and just take the fruit, because I'm not going to be here to get it, and I don't want it to go to waste. Um, and there's a few oak trees. I don't know where the hell they are, but they're on the deeds anyway. Maybe it's these little babies. I don't know. Um, I really wish I could meet my neighbour, Mister. I think he's called Mister Alvarez or something like that. But the problem around here is you can have somebody named on the deeds, and a guy could be long dead. So somebody's maintaining this land, because they do cut the cork bark off the trees, and they trim the land and stuff. So I don't know what's going on. The interesting point, they have not cleared that part of the land, so maybe that definitely is mine. That's the indication I can have is the fact that they don't bother to clear it because they know it's not theirs. So I'm obligated by law to clear the land, and I'll do it if I find out which bit is my land. An awful lot of trees going around the house. I'm going to have to, don't know, I have to discourage that a little bit because they're going to pull my house to bits. Um, Although, to be honest, why should I care? I'll be long dead by the time they do. I often said to people, about planting oak trees, they say, "Oh, it'll be huge," Yeah, yeah, in 200 years' time, when your house is probably being demolished and rebuilt 5 times. So this wee house here is 112 years old, I believe. So it's not doing too bad. Um, and that's it. That's my evening little tour of my property, as much as it is. I would have given anything to have some land where I could just plant some flowers and put a tent up, or a cabin, or a little shed, and just have some peace, and like say, this is mine, and I don't, and I can go in and I can shut the door and say it's mine, and I can just put my feet up and 6 feet of bed. When I was living on that boat in Watchet Marina, I was being asked to leave because they don't have residential people there. So not only are you paying the rent, they don't even want you there when you're paying the rent. And it's just, you just want somewhere where you can just call home and just be left alone. So I was through to my partner in the Philippines, and she said she wanted a bedroom um, of her own. And what she meant, like, she didn't want one on her own. She wanted a one separate from the rest of the people in the house sleeping there. And so her and the kids could sleep in that, and with her mother and so on. And they're moving from house to house to house, back and forwards all over the place because they keep getting flooded out. They're in a rainforest sort of area, and it's not a good place to live because it's always wet. You wash clothes and it takes forever to dry. Certain spots in town are okay where you can get a bit of sunlight through and dry things, but it's not an easy place to live. But it has the merit of being a little bit cooler, not so hot. But in the Philippines, if you want to get cooler, what you need to do is go higher, live up in the mountains, the boondocks. So I have cleared the steps as best I can initially. I just had nothing to do while I was waiting for the first cup of tea. So I thought I'll clear these steps. And I got a stick and I started raking out all the years of earth and twigs and seeds and God knows what stuff, biological stuff that's accumulated there, messing the place up. Um, so couldn't really sweep it that well because it was just a stick, you know. And here we are. The trees, the call them mountains. I would certainly call them. I don't know. They're substantial hills. I'll say that. In the Philippines, they call them munting bundok. Like small mountains. And that's covered with eucalyptus. We have fires going on at the minute. So this lot could actually go up in one shot. But it's not near the house. And all of the native vegetation is actually near the house, and that's never affected by um, forest fires much. The forest fires are much reduced, and that's why cork trees have that cork bark to protect them from fires, and they just don't give a toss. And the other methodology for eucalyptus trees is to actually promote the fire so it helps the seeds. So it's just like, nice wee little burnout of rubbish compared to like Armageddon, which is the Australian methodology. I suspect humankind has been part of that somehow, in setting fires, Aboriginal people setting fires over thousands of years, and to encourage that sort of fauna. And maybe it's just because Australia's so dry. the driest continent in the world. Way back there's a sort of wall at the back there, so there's quite a lot more land there that I didn't really realise I had. That's a fair bit, you know. So my little dream piece of land that I dreamt of, I've got many times more. Oh, I so wish I had more land. Really do. Maybe people will be amenable to me when I get the flowers going and I start to make the neighbourhood look nice. Down here, you get old people going past, taking walks, you know, and they'll just silently float on past like ghosts. And they're starting to speak to me now, you know, because they're getting to know me. A few of them I already knew from last year. And there's this little wee dent in this stone wall area. There's a sort of concavity here full of rubbish and stuff next to the house. So I've decided what I'm going to do. I'm going to build a sort of park bench, a really substantial park bench, and put it there. And I'm going to make it big. I'm not going to make a little tiddly one. I'll probably make it about 8 or 10 foot long because it's not part of the road. It's an indentation there. And I will, well, actually, maybe I might be messing things up for myself if I wanted to park a car there. Well, I'll worry about that at the time. But initially, I'm thinking if I put a chair there, these people, when they're walking past, they can all have a little sit down. So they can all sit down and admire the forest, and I'll see them, I'll say, oh, bum dear, and I'll have a chat with them. So, bit of company. This place is, I heard somebody say the way that, you know, it's just listening to people talking about Portugal, and somebody just made this little comment in the middle of a sentence, the way that they talk to each other, you know, and I thought, what do you mean the way they talk to each other? The way they treat each other and the way they talk to each other. He really liked it, you know. I couldn't figure out, well, what do they do? Like, embrace each other all the time or what? And I realised today, that little video that I put in, the arrival of the angels, you know, that I was standing up the top of here and minding my own business, and I was just about to make a little video of the house to show you the house. And then 34 seconds later, car pulls up full of a family and insists that I go to dinner with them. It's rude to refuse, and you must stay at my father's house tonight because it's not suitable for you to stay here tonight. And that's that. And by the way, it's regarded as rude to refuse, so you have no choice. Well, I don't know whether that was true, but I thought, okay, I'm up for this. And I went to the house and I ate the food. And talk about, oh God Almighty, it took so long to eat the food, you know. And I said, it's okay. I like your food. I just want to eat it very, very slowly because it's so delicious. I want to make it last. And I just chewed this food, and the bread was just the bread's homemade, and it's the Portuguese bread is more like drug addiction. It's so delicious. It's you just can't stop eating the stuff. Um, and olives and homemade wine, which is just you could oh boy, the homemade wine. It was it's from his own little vineyard and white wine hand red and it's had that sort of bouquet that was just there, you know. And so from now on, I'm just going to drink the wine here because I'll buy some of the locals because it'll be so cheap. Um, and it was just off the scale. The whole thing was just off the scale. It was so delicious, the whole meal. And I go to old guy's house. So I walk in the house, and I just think, holy crap! It's like it is so beautiful. It was just there's wood furniture all over the place, wood floors, polished everywhere, ornaments. It was a home. It was a proper home. And his wife was dead, but she left a mark. I'll say that. And it was so beautiful. Uh, so I told him his house was Linda. Linda was just beautiful. And I slept in this. fabulous big double bed in this just amazing house. And it's just so huge, and it's got land at the back and chickens and ducks and God knows what usual stuff, and a load of goats and some sheep. And it's just terrific. I could have stayed there forever. I thought I've got to get the hell out of there because I, I kind of bond with the place, I'm starting to think of it as home. So anyway, he's letting me use the internet, and so I was just thinking I'm going to reward this guy somehow because I want to keep him happy because I go there and there's a tap outside and fill my bottles up with water and bucket full of water. So I've got lovely fresh water just available, and I can have a bit of a wash there as well, which is nice because it gets a bit hot. There's just nobody around. He goes away in the daytime. I think he goes to his daughter's. He's away all day, and I sit in his little wash house and use the internet and do assignments and stuff on it and upload YouTube videos. Um, and that's it. So I thought today, I thought I know what to do. I'll buy him a load of beer, and I'll dump the beer outside of his door, and that tends to make men happy. Giving men beer. It's the easiest job in the world. Giving men beer, giving men free beer. So that's that. And so very happy, lovely, beautiful evening here in Portugal. I wish I had some people here to share it with. Some family. Hint. Um, any family wants to come out here, come out. We've got a lot of land here. You can go and buy yourself a tent at Decathlon and come out and see me, and then go for a tour of Portugal and a ride around. Cars are cheap, and then come back here and stay for free, so you don't have to pay any hotel bills or anything. £130 tent, and that's your accommodation paid for. So brilliant. Anyway, so that's a lovely evening in Portugal. I've had a shower as well, which was nice. Um, and that's something I couldn't do when I was camping before, but I'm on my own place here, so I just have to heat it over the fire. And hopefully my second cup of tea's ready, and I'm going to go to bed now. So Jesus be with you.